And finally this week we saw The Strangers, directed by Brian Bertino, who apparently has been nothing but a grip in films before this. This is his first writing and directorial debut. It stars Liv Tyler and Scott Speedman as a couple of folks who are in a relationship. They go off for a romantic weekend in the family's summer home, and they are approached middle of the night, knock on the door, and 3 people come back en masse and terrorize them for the rest of the night until morning. This movie is really kind of playing up on the environmental aspect of the fear that would go along with this, because you're in the middle of nowhere, there's no houses around you, you're isolated, and they go through and they isolate them even more. They burn their cell phones, they cut the phone lines, they wreck their cars. So there's a fairly good atmospheric tension that Bertino makes in this, but there's a lot of build-up, but the climax is very flat.
Part of the problem is the opening scene of the movie reveals more or less that the couple is killed, or at least somebody is. And it doesn't take a genius. If the bad guys had died, then the good guys would be standing around. So right away that the heroes are going to die, which, why am I going to sit and watching how they die isn't interesting, particularly since the villain's motive is never revealed. They just picked somebody at random and decided to terrorize and kill them. And a villain needs to have a motive, even if it doesn't make any sense. Like the villain in Seven, he was clearly crazy, and his motives made sense probably only to him, but he had them. It wasn't just a directionless crime.
But there was an explanation to it. This had no explanation. It's told strictly from the point of Tyler and Speedman. And the 3 in this, it's a lot of violence for violence sake.
Well, it's violence for the sake of creating fear in the audience, and there's something to be said for that. But it has to be moving towards something. And by the end of the movie, it's a very nihilistic ending where it's just the heroes are dead and the bad guys drive off. Why did sure, you scared me, but why waste my time with something ultimately that has nothing more to say than you should be scared?
Yeah. A couple of years ago, there was a film called Vacancy with Luke Wilson and Kate Beckinsale. But it had a much better way of doing it, and the climax was a lot better than
even if the climax of that movie was a little hard to swallow.
Yeah.
But certainly more satisfying for an audience.
Yeah.
So, while it's a good debut for Bertino, and it does create that fear, it just doesn't lead anywhere, so I'd say skip it.
I'd agree.